Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey by subscribing. Hit that bell notification for the new uploads. And I want to thank every single one of you for being here with me and supporting the channel. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. We're going to create today another tonic blouse. I'm going with the flow, so I don't have another pattern. This is just right out of the ideas, out of the head. And I've started off to show you. This is the top part. So basically we have, this is where the neck is going to go. I've already created one sleeve and we'll be doing the other side so you know exactly what we're doing here. So I've closed one sleeve up already. I don't know what I'm going to do with the sleeve yet, if I'm going to leave it 1/4 or go long. So we're just going to focus for now just how to start with the top part. This is a full medium to a large. And you know that I've mentioned in the last videos that I'm trying to design for bigger women, bigger sizes. Since there's so many tutorials out there only with small sizes, and I see a lot of people complaining about it, and of course I'm not huge, but I'm not a small girl either. So we are going to go with bigger sizes. And what's good with these creations that I'm trying to come up with is you can go the size you'd like, 1x, 2x, 3x, and so on. It's only adding the squares in. This is so simple. A beginner can do this. It's very, very simple. It's just squares added on, which I will leave the link to the tutorial to create the squares. The only thing is when you're creating the squares, don't go all the way. I show in the tutorial where you have to stop so we can add on to the pattern. Now this is diagonal, so I have 7 squares in order to be for the medium to large. If you want to go bigger, then you measure your shoulder to shoulder, and as you're creating it, you know, like this way, then you keep measuring on your shoulder if it's the right size for it. If you need to add more, then you just continue adding at the tip here before you close in with the sleeve. Okay, so like I said, I'll leave the link on the description box. You can start creating the square. Now the reason why I don't do it on the same video, because a lot of people use squares for different other patterns, and at the same time it takes less memory on my phone. Okay, so basically you would do your first square as you're going to do as is on the other tutorial. And you would do it up until the second row, of course, because this is the first row. And then once you do your 2 groups, which is right here, so you do your first row, you come up to your second, you do your 2 groups of double, triple crochet with 1 chain separation. Now I need to add, obviously, on here because I've done one part, but I need to add 2 more, and this is to show you how it's going to go. So basically you would prepare your square, and you do 5 chain, because this is going to be a total of 11 chains. Okay, so because we're adding, we're doing 5. Just want to see something here. So I've closed in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we'll do the top one here. Which will come out to the same thing because the 7th one up top. No, okay. So we're going to grab right in the middle here of the 2 joint squares. Close it in with single. and then 5 chain, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to come into the next space and create, and create a double triple. So you roll 2 times, you come into the next space, take out 2, and take out 2. And again, so we need 4 of the double triple, all in the same space. One chain. Now where we have the 1 chain here between them two, we're going to single, come back, do double triple next space again, and create our 4 double triples in the same space. This is very easy to do. If you find the videos too fast for you, right up top on the right hand corner, there's 3 little buttons. Click there, slow down the video to the speed you would like. Okay, so once we've done the 4 double triple, again 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to add here on this corner now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again, coming in doing the double triple. One chain, and we're not adding on here because we are getting the right size for shoulder to shoulder, right? We need to do, mine is a 7, so if you're a medium to a large, you do 7 squares also, and it's 2 rows the same way. So you would have to attach them the same way as I'm doing now. Now, I'm definitely going to have to go to video 2 and video 3 for sure, because, you know, with blouses, it takes too much memory. Okay, so let me just show you what's going on here. So I'm doing the 7th one now. So we're going to continue to close it off the square. Now here we're going to create the 11 chain the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I forgot to mention this is 100% cotton thread. Mint color. This is Portuguese thread. Hook number 3, my God, my brain just froze there for a second. Hook number 3, a small one to tuck in loose ends, and a pair of scissors. I almost forget to mention that. Okay, so once you create your 4, you're going to the next space, and you create again. So all of this pattern is double, triple crochet, okay? Just to let you know. One chain, because we finished creating the corner. Now we're doing the side. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 chain. And we're going to close in on the 3rd space on the first double triple. We're going to cut our thread. So this would be the 7th one. I have so much thread and so much going on here now because I had set them up already for the tutorial. Okay, so we've created this one. So your pattern is on the right way this way. So we're going to turn it like this where it's empty. Well, we know we need one. Okay, so we need to tie it on here, the corner, to start closing in this section. So you do your 2 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you come down here and you close it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the next space. One chain right in the center between both groups. Oops, no chain. And then double, triple into the next space. Create your group again. Now we do the 4, and we're going to do chain 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to grab it onto here. No, not there, sorry. Let me just check here for a second. So now we're not grabbing on here, we're going to grab on here, okay? We don't want to close off this end. And with that being said, we don't close it here either, only on the corner. My mistake. Always look ahead of the video, please, not just my video, but anybody else's video, because we can make mistakes. We are only human. Okay, so one chain into the next one. And I have to keep seeing what I did on the other side because I'm creating these as I go. So it's not like I have a pattern in front of me or adding stitches, you know. These are just things that come to mind. 1, so we did the group, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to grab the top one here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And of course we need to add it onto here. So just turn a bit our pattern to make it comfortable to the next space. My hands are stretched out, so that's why sometimes it's really hard. It comes out of the needle. Okay, so we have one end closed there. So now we need to come back to back to the center here. And then continue on the group. Now, I don't know how much grams this is going to take yet until I'm done, but I'm sure it will be 600 for sure. Now the other corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just so you can see what we're doing here. So now we're going to attach it on this corner, because then we need to attach it on here and then here. So we did 5 chain into the center where all the other chains are, where all the groups are attached. The squares, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come back. And you work it whatever way is best for you, as long as you lock it in the right places. You know, you're good to go. Obviously, it's a little bit different for me because I have to do the tutorial, so, and because I have done one sleeve so you can see. Okay, so we did chain 1. Now we attach it here. Oh, what am I doing? So used to doing chain singles and then coming and doing crochet, double crochet. It's not the case here. Because explain to you is one thing, but if you have a vision, if you see it, you know, you begin to understand it a little bit more, right? Okay, so we're at the pretty much the edge here. And we're going to close it in on the corner also. So remembering it's always back to back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And back to our square. Now, if you wanted to close already the 4 corners, I'll show you in a second. What do I mean? What am I doing? I need to do a single here. See, when I'm yapping away, I get distracted. Okay, on the 3rd space, I'm going to close it in. And we're pretty much done with this square. Okay, so what I mean is, if you wanted to close in already here, you can, because these 4 corners are going to be closed in no matter what, okay, because that's part of the yarn. But give me a second, I'll show you here. No, you don't close that 4 corner, because that's going to be closed into, just show you here. So let's say this is the 4 corners. We have to close it onto the shoulder square. So don't close it into the back and front. We need to leave it open for the sleeve, okay? We need to add them on is to the top shoulder squares that go on top of the shoulder this way, okay? So only the bottom one we close in. I'm going to tuck in my loose ends, bring the thread to the back. I like to give it knots to all of my pieces so there is no anything falling apart. Be secure. All of this work not for nothing. This is like very easy to do because the rest of the body is just following square, attaching squares together as they are here. So very simple. It's just getting the neck and the sleeves here. Okay, so now we're going to create the top one like this one for the shoulder part. Okay, so we're going to create it up here. We need 2 of them. Okay, so we don't close 1, 2, 3. We leave 3 in the center for the neck. Okay. Okay, so this is our top. It's where the shoulder is. So we're going to connect back here. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to continue. One chain. We're going to go in the center here. No chain. And then here, we're going to continue. Create our 4 double triple. So this is what's going over the shoulder. Okay, so we're closing in front with back. That's what we're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to come here between the joints. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Of course, we're not attaching nothing here because we don't have the other one up top the shoulder yet to attach, right? So we've attached the back part with the top of the shoulder part. Now we need to attach the front. One chain and continue on. So we're doing the side here, the side of the square that meets the neck area. We're only going to attach it on the next square, okay? Now 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we got to attach it to the front. So we're going to attach it to this one here. Okay, because we're closing in the shoulder part. As you can see, we're going to close it in. So we're going to turn a bit, just so we can work more comfortable. And this way we'll have our sleeve closed in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come back. And we're going to attach it to the rest of the front of the pattern. So we have our 4, 1 chain. Going to go in the middle of the 2 groups. Come back. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and close it off the rest of the shoulder here for the sleeve. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to come back and finish the square, which were right there at the end. Tuck in your loose ends, bring the thread inside, okay, so we have, so as you see, this is the top of the shoulder, so it's half, right? Half square goes on top of the shoulder, back part, there's 2 and then 2. So we pretty much connected these 2 with these 2 with 1 in the corner, so we can close in the sleeve, right? So very simple. Now we need to create another half one, well not half, a whole square. It's going to be folded in half like that. We need to add it here, front and back. And that will be the same thing as this one here. Okay, so we did this one, let's say, which is this one here. And now we need to do this one near the neck area. Okay. Okay. So we pretty much did the 2 double triple. I'm going to turn my pattern so it makes it easier on us, like this, right up to the neck. So I'm going to come here in between both. 2, 3, 4, and 5. You need to do whatever works best for you as long as you're closing it properly. I mean, it's very simple, but you have to pay attention because sometimes you might be closing in the wrong area. Has happened to me and I had to take it down. I mean, these mistakes are common to happen, you know. Okay, so 1 chain. Closing it here. Now these squares are 10 centimeters all around. So of course it takes quite a bit of few squares to get the proper size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming in, adding it on there. We're turning it again to make it easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is part of the sleeve here now. And we're closing it on top of the shoulder. Now, of course, if you're closing it with an even number like 4 squares, it's much easier, right? But that's not what we're doing here. There's, if you really look at it, 5 squares on here to close it up. 2 in front, 2 in the back, and one up top. It's a little bit different. Design is different also. You know, you want something different than everybody else. At least I know I do. I don't want to wear the same thing everybody else is wearing, you know. I mean, a couple of people, yeah, but the whole world, it's like going to the store, you know, from the Walmart, whatever, everybody's picking the same shirt. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so coming in here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to add the back part or front part, whatever way you want to call it, because they're both the same thing. But we have to give it a name, right? One front, one back. Okay, so 1 chain. So you see this is the sleeve area. Okay, the sleeve. So we're still closing up top now. Very simple. And the rest is peanuts, right? Well, we'll have to show you around the sleeve so you don't get confused. Also, now you can use this with no sleeve, quarter sleeve, 3/4 sleeve, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're done with this. So we're pretty much closed all corners. Just gonna tuck it in because I like to tuck in everything right away. I don't like to come back to it and deal with it. I want to get it over and done with and not bother anymore and just continue on. This way, once it's finished, I don't have to come back to anything else. Some people like to do everything at the end. I don't. I like to get rid of it now. I don't want to be bothered with it anymore. Okay. So this is the shoulder part. Now, of course, if you're 2x, 3x, then you would need to add more rows, obviously, because you're larger, shoulder to shoulder, and you're gonna take more up top, 3 or 4, right? This is for the medium and the large. So we did pretty much these two, and the 2 up here. So as you see, neck area, and this is the sleeve area. Now, I'm going to the other part here. Okay, everyone. So in order not to get confusing and to start off with the sleeve, because you might get confused on it, we're just going to do just at least 1 or 2 of the edge front coming down, like I did here on this one, okay? Because then you can place your sleeve with less confusion. This is already closed in because this is part already of the chest area going down to the stomach. Okay, so very simple. Again, we're going to do front and back, of course. So we're going to, where we closed off the sleeve, so we're going to go right in here. So we do our 5 chain. And I've only done 4 double triple. And then do the 5 chain, attach it on there, and then again. Because I think it will be less complicated for you guys. Okay, 1 chain. Now we're going to close it here on the front. No chain. I have a habit of keep doing a chain. I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to because I don't want too much space in between the attachment. That's why I'm not doing the 1 chain. Okay, so this front And I made a mistake here, as you can see, so I forgot to do my 5 chain here. How smart of me, right? Good God. Okay, so you do your 5 chain, you do your single in all where it meets the sleeve, and then 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's why it's always good to look ahead of the video, because mistakes are common to be made. And eventually, as we're going, we catch up to them because something doesn't look right, right? Now, when we're right at the beginning, we make these type of mistakes, is not too bad. 1 chain. Now we go back again and tie it in. It's when we're further up, and then we realize, oh my God, I didn't do my 5 chain. And to take down all these squares is quite some piece of work. It's quite complicated, because when you start taking 1 square down, you're going to have to take quite a bit down. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again, we're just going to attach it right here in the center between the connection of the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. One chain. Okay, so now you know you have to come down, because we're creating length now, right? Don't make that mistake and tie it into the next one. You have to make length. That's why it's always good to stretch out your pattern and see exactly what you're doing, because it's common to do that. You know, you're going, you're so used to attaching, you're going to attach it into the next one. It's going to be all crooked. Won't work out. So this is like the length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is 1 corner again. Create your loops. And then we'll create the other one in the back part and attach it to this one. On the side, of course. You'll know what I mean once we get there. It's kind of complicated to be explaining when you can't see it, right? I tell you in advance and I show you as I'm going, so that just reconfirms everything else that I'm saying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And of course, on the length, everything else is just, you know, adding squares onto squares, back and front and sides. So very, very simple. And of course, you go to the desired length you would like. So if you like it to the hips, you continue on the squares. You want it to the waist, you continue on the squares. It's really up to you how you want it. So let's say this is front. Now we're going to create this one here to attach it here on the side only, because this is the back part, right? So you're going to open it up to make it easier for you. And we're going to attach it here. This is the back part. I want to make sure that I grab both both strings here because of the weight on, and sometimes the pulling. If you only have it on one, it's not 5 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not going to be pulling only in one string, right? One chain, 1, 2, whoops, I don't know why I keep doing this. Come back and do your double, triple. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to attach this as the back part, so we're attaching also under the arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now you know you need to attach it to the side one here, the one we just finished doing, because we're doing the side, okay? This is the side of the length. So now we need to attach it here. It's like we're closing the side in. And you proceed the same way throughout the rest of the length, like that. Now I want to do this one with open slits on the side. So I'm going to go to my desired length, and then once I'm happy with it, then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to leave the open slits. It's an option for you if you'd like to have it that way. So I placed this wrong. Not in the center of my square. That wasn't too good. Thank God I keep looking. Center of the square, not in between the double triples. It's very hard to crochet with your hands stretched out in front of you, you know that? Very, very difficult. But we try to do our best. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is closing the complete side, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to finish to create our square with no more attachments, because it was only the back, front, and side that we're closing. Then we're going to go into the sleeve. 11, chain stitch, and finish off our last corner here. So this is going to come down for length, and of course we always have to close the side in order to have our blouse closed in, right? So all you have to do now is just follow the same thing down in front and into the other side, the same thing. So it's just back and forth, adding these squares onto the length you want. Remembering that if you're leaving, that's why you have to look ahead of the video. If you're leaving the sides slits open, then you will have to look ahead to see to which length I left it open, because I will have to keep adding the squares, putting it on, and see whereabouts I want my slit to be left open. If it's on the hips, if it's on the waist, and you have to do the same thing because everybody is different. Even though you might be a medium large, but I could be taller than you could be shorter than me, and probably your hip area to your stomach area to your waist area is not the same length as mine. So that's why you have to keep trying it on and then measure it whereabouts you want to leave it open on the sides, okay? So now we're going to go into the sleeve area. I think that's important to realize that, not because mine, I'm going to do, let's say, 8 rows or 10 rows of little squares going down on length, and I'm going to open up on my last 2 or my last 3. It really depends on the size of your hips, okay, to your waist. So you have to keep measuring, people, okay? Okay, so I have these 2 on and the 5 chain. And why I did these 2, because I don't have nothing to attach. It's the first one that's going on here. So there's nothing to be attached on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's only after the next squares that's going to be attached. So I won't be creating 2 groups. I'll be creating only 1. Okay. And this is simple. This is just adding on the squares here on the sleeves. And like I said, you use the sleeve to the desired length you'd like. You don't have to do the exact same thing as mine. So we're just closing. It's just like closing the normal square, you know, as anywhere else. You're just closing it up. So you're just going around with the squares and closing it. So very simple, nothing to it, because you already did the worst part, was the first one to get it right. Okay, if you're on to this one, then you pretty much succeeded what you needed to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to attach the first square in 3 areas, one on the attachment of the squares, the middle, and this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come back, finish your square, and start adding another square. I'm going to finish mine and come back to you. Okay, so as you can see, so we added it on. This is part of the shoulder. And then just follow through with the rest of the other ones. So obviously I already did my 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's because why I did my 2, because it's going to stay on the outside. It's not something I'm adding on here. Or you can just start off with 4 and then 5 chain. It comes out to the same thing, you know. Okay, 1 chain, and then just add on to your square. So we're going to add on to the shoulder square and onto the side one here. So we need to keep attaching them to close it in to firm our sleeve. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming into the attachment. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to add it onto here. Okay, so shoulder and then the side. I don't know why I keep giving 1 chain there. Keep forgetting. So used to doing the same routine over and over, I guess. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again. Now we're just going to complete the rest of our square because we're not adding anything else on. Creating the other corner with the 11 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so now we have, so we're going to continue, we're going to put it onto here, obviously, and then lock in here under the armpit, and then continue and attach it all the way to this one here. So it's just following, just attaching them.